101.5 FM in this holy month of Ramadan. So, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to my guest today, Shazia Osman. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you, Sharmeen?
I am well, alhamdulillah. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah.
Now, Shazia, I brought you on today because you are a phenomenal artist, mashallah.
Jazakallah for your kind words.
And, well, it's the truth. So, I'm always blown away by what pops up in my feed from your page, Rashid's Arts. And I was like, definitely have to have you on. I'm also mostly blown away by what comes through on the WhatsApp group for your art therapy classes, which, I always feel...
We thoroughly enjoy the art therapy classes, which have been on hold for the last month or so, because I've been on a couple of courses and I've not been able to take them up again. But inshallah, after Ramadan, we'll be starting them up again.
Now, hopefully you're wondering what are the art therapy classes. We will be coming back on to more information about that a bit later. But let's start with how you started on your journey.
I've always been interested in art from a young age. I've never formally done any formal training or qualifications in art. But it's always been a side hobby of mine. I paint just to get in the. I sort of get in the zone, and I need to get something on canvas to relax myself, to achieve understanding of what's going on in my life at that certain point in time. This, however, Rashida Art started last year, summer of last year, when I was going through a difficult patch, trying to come to terms with grief.
Yes.
I lost my sister a couple of years ago, and it's been a difficult period for all of us as a family. But my way of coping was to just pull out the canvas, pull out the paints, the paintbrushes, and just paint away.
Mashallah.
And that's, alhamdulillah, for me, one thing led to another, and I realized that I could actually turn my hobby into an actual career. So
Yes.
alhamdulillah, for now, Rashida Arts is going full time.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah. And it's a positive story that came from something difficult.
Yes, I think that everybody needs some way to deal with grief.
Yes.
It's very important to deal with your grief, because if you let it build up inside of you, then it affects your mental health. It affects
in so many different ways.
It affects your day-to-day life. You struggle with even the smallest matters. It becomes a heavy burden upon you.
And it can help also. It can also affect the relationships around you as well.
Of course, it does. It affects the relationships with your immediate family as well,
And your relationship within yourself.
Yes.
That's, I think, one of the hardest things. I lost a very good friend who helped me, particularly at the time when my twins came along. Turns out Shazi has twins like me, who are also premature. Oh, mashallah. You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
It's like brilliant to know that. But subhanAllah, going back, she helped me, mashallah. Her name was Rashida, actually. And she was a real blessing. She helped me through a very difficult time when the twins were born. They're premature. It was very, very tough. And more than even my nanny passed away at a similar time, more than what I felt in grief for her, I really felt for Rashida. And Auntie was just like, there's so many little things that still you remember that person. Like the twins will mention something, well, Auntie said this, or Auntie did that, Auntie used to make this for us. And as he said, it carries on. Grief sometimes carries on, not just in that moment, that immediate aftermath, but friends and family might come closer, but you have to still carry on. And I think it's really profound, mashallah, that you took up the paintbrush and you found a way to deal with that grief and move forward
it's sort
in a
of like
positive way.
It's a ripple effect, because the thing is that grief does not only stay for that day or for that year or for that decade. It lives within you. It's with you all the time, and it comes in waves.
Yes,
It can come in waves.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
You'll sometimes have a really calm, collected day, and then the next thing you know you're hit by a huge wave of grief.
And it'll be that one thing, that small thing might spark
That
a memory.
might trigger.
And you just will be overwhelmed, subhanAllah. Yes. Now, why art? This is what occurred to me. I mean, people deal with grief in different ways. What made you choose to pick up that paintbrush?
Yes. Well, it started off with the Arabic calligraphy, in fact. A little bit of a background about me. I attended Darul Uloom when I was younger. I didn't complete my course. I did 2 years in my course, but within those 2 years, I picked up a lot of skill in Arabic calligraphy. So I started off with calligraphy, and then I mean, Instagram is huge at the moment.
I'm still trying to figure out Instagram. I'm perfectly honest. I think
the thing is,
I feel a bit old sometimes when you talk about Instagram, but it is definitely huge. And
you gain inspiration from other artists and that. And I remember it was just one thing led to another, and I thought, you know what? Let me try that. Maybe I can do that. Let me try that. Maybe I can do that. And subhanAllah, the thing is that you can push yourself. You can only know how capable you are if you push yourself.
Yes, it's getting yourself out of your comfort zone, as they say.
Yes.
SubhanAllah. And so you started painting, alhamdulillah. And you've mentioned that you are passionate about the calligraphy. Any other sort of types of art that you're passionate about? Because I've looked at some of your it's beautiful work, mashallah. We have got one of Sophia's paintings in the studio with us today. This painting has kindly joined us. The producer, inshallah, will do that magic that he does behind the scenes and pop a picture up, hopefully, on your screen. And if you are just joining us, just a quick reminder, you are listening to the Ramadan special on EAVA 102.5 FM. This is the Morning Matters show, and I'm joined by Sister Shazia Osman, who's founder of Rashida Arts. The other thing that we did briefly, just wanted, because I will forget otherwise, mention is hoping, inshallah, the Sid Retreat Brothers hoping to set up some sort of calligraphy or exhibition after the brief conversation we had earlier. Yes. So do watch the space on that front. That sounds really exciting.
I think it would be great for Leicester because there are lots of creatives in Leicester. I mean, I know a couple, and I really admire their work as well. And I feel that Leicester as a city is very it's not shown as much as bigger cities, which is a shame because I mean Islam is so prominent in Leicester.
There's a 20% Muslim population in Leicester. Yeah. There's a phenomenally huge actually population of Muslims in Leicester.
Yes.
And they are doing amazing things.
Yeah, so I think the time would be right to have an art exhibition of Islamic art featuring different Muslim creatives and giving everybody an opportunity to be able to exhibit their work. This painting here that's showing of mine is
on Facebook Live. Obviously, if you're listening on the radio, we can't show you the painting, but there are advantages to social media. This is one of those you're missing right now. Carry on.
It's inspired by the, in the Masjid al-Nabawi, when you're when we go to convey our salutations to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there's the green carpet.
I'm looking at that, thinking of that right now.
It's inspired by the green carpet, which is known as the Rawda.
Yes.
The Rawda from Rawdatul Jannah. The print is inspired from there. I went to on Umrah. Alhamdulillah, I've been blessed and privileged enough to go to Umrah last December, upon which I took loads of pictures of the green carpet as I could have, and subhanallah, just the feeling of standing on that carpet, it's indescribable. I don't think anybody could actually describe that feeling because you're thinking to yourself that you're actually standing in a piece of paradise.
Yes, it is phenomenal.
Yeah, and the verse inscribed upon there is it's not a complete verse. It's part of the verse in Surah Waqia. It means as a jaza'an bima kanu ya'malun, as a reward for that which they have done. So it's just sort of visualizing the fact that inshallah, after all of our efforts in this dunya, that will inshallah be our reward in the hereafter.
Inshallah. SubhanAllah, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And this isn't the only piece. There are many more. You can check out Shazia's page, Rashid the Arts, inshallah. Give it a like. And if you haven't given our page a like, Facebook, the Ramadan FM page here, make sure you give that a like too, please. Just a quick reminder on that front. Moving on, Shazia, how did you go from that to setting up the art therapy classes? How did that come about?
The art therapy classes started as sort of fulfilling my own needs. I'll be very honest and
okay.
very
We love
very
honesty
honest.
here. We love honesty here. It's fun.
I'm very selfish in that regard because I remember last year thinking that, you know what, I really wish there was some place that I could go and meet people and just have a cup of coffee and paint with other
Obviously,
ladies,
this wasn't
like-minded.
in Ramadan because you wouldn't be meeting up for coffee in Ramadan.
No,
obviously not.
Don't mention coffee in Ramadan. That will turn me into a monster. But so that's how it started up. I said that, you know what, let me just jump in head first. I met with the lovely ladies at Room 4 Cafe on Evington Road. Shivani's amazing, and she agreed to let me use her space.
Okay, mashallah.
And it was great because her in the afternoons, the cafe is normally not as busy as it usually is in the mornings. And I thought that for mums who are just rushing between school runs and that, it's quite a good time. 12:30 to 2:30 is doable. Wednesday is midweek, so most people can make it then, hopefully.
Yes,
Fingers
it's
crossed.
true. It's true.
But it's just something to get people out of isolation. You know, people who
I
are
think
who feel
that's a very nice.
isolated.
That's a very nice point, actually. I'm going to be honest here now as well. I was supposed to come to one of your classes and it looked absolutely beautiful. And I genuinely was unwell that day in the end, so I wasn't able to make it. But one of the things I actually struggle with is going out to coffee and doing the chit-chat thing. You wouldn't imagine I can talk here on air and just ramble on and talk to people from all around the world about all sorts of topics. But you put me in a room with fellow sisters and human beings, and I have to have a conversation and do that chit-chat thing and drink coffee like I like it. You know, it's a tough call for me. Yeah. But actually, you hit on a very, very important point there: isolation. Yes. And a lot of people don't realize that it's amazing. You can be at home, you can have your kids, and you can do all, but how isolated you can actually feel, subhanAllah, even as a mother, because you've got all this responsibility, and it's not like people understand what you're going through, the challenges, the emotional challenges, and it's easy actually to stay in that zone of isolation.
Yeah, to just say, you know what, I'm just going to stay at home. I won't go out because I'm just too tired. But that 2 hours of coming out, meeting other fellow sisters, I mean, making friendships, just having a laugh, and creating something nice to take home with you, I think is really good because it's so easy to fall into that depth of despair and think, you know what, why I'm just going to go to sleep.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah.
Because I used to do that.
Yeah,
I used to do that. I used to say that, you know what, afternoon nap, I'm just going to go to sleep. I'm just too exhausted to do anything else.
A lot of us are very exhausted. Yes. And I always justify it saying that, you know what, I've had 6 years of not sleeping at night. So, you know.
Catch up on that.
I'm catching up on that, and I'm not going to make any justification to anybody about that. But yes, you're right. Sometimes it is, again, it's about pushing ourselves outside the comfort zone. And it's also, sometimes we underestimate the importance of sisterhood. Yes. I think I wonder sometimes if that's to do with the fact that you're on social media and you have those kind of conversations on social media. And so you have that kind of interaction, you have your family. But actually just meeting with local sisters, getting to know them, speaking about some of the challenges you face on a day-to-day and the shared challenges, like, you know, what happens with your kids, and
it's really good to be able to do so. And alhamdulillah, Leicester's small enough to be able to do that. I mean, it's not so difficult like London to get to places, or, you know, I mean, it's easier to make up an excuse then. But
oh yeah, tube strike today, tube strike. Yeah. Now I still, you might not realise, but I'm on the Shaz's Goal WhatsApp group, which is really helpful, because if you weren't, or you're thinking about going, it's definitely worth joining that WhatsApp group.
Yes.
And And on there, you post pictures of what you guys are up to. Yeah. And I was like, I definitely have to go. I have to go at some point. And I asked her to bring a few little sample pieces into the studio. So, Shaz, if you... And again, I think just to say, do apologise if you're just listening on the airwaves or on the website. You might not be able to see this. It is going to be on the Facebook Live, and it will be available on the YouTube video afterwards. Shaz, just point up to the camera and we'll know.
I think the one that you were going to come for was for this coaster workshop. So these are...
Is that coming up in the... Nearer? Should you bring it up nearer to the camera?
So this is Moroccan style coasters.
Yes, I realise there's a delay, so it seems like we're standing. There we go.
Yeah, these are Moroccan style coasters, and we painted these with glass paint.
Okay. Yes, carry on.
Yeah, so we created a variety of designs. I mean, now every 2 weeks, because I run it fortnightly, I change things around. Another thing we did is we painted on wood. This is something that I painted, but everyone can paint whatever they wish. I mean, these 3 words really resonate with me.
And so that's what many I painted. Of us, subhanAllah, if you think month of Ramadan, the patience, the sabr, the ikhlas, obviously you have to have the sincerity of the fast and the trust in Allah that you're going to get through it as well, subhanAllah.
Yeah. And then we sometimes have canvas painting.
And is that Kufi script?
This is Kufic script, yes.
Yeah. Very beautiful. And I like how you've combined something which is quite traditional with a very modern abstract, I don't know, like flicking paint thing must have been quite fun.
Yeah,
I'm feeling quite bad now.
That is more my style. I prefer a modern abstract style with a little bit of traditionalism in it. So if you look on my Facebook and Instagram, and if you go through each of my paintings, each of them has a story behind it. So I base all my paintings on Quranic ayat and ahadith, where that's where I gain inspiration from, and I try to visualize those ayat and those ahadith as paintings. I think it's really important to connect with the underlying story to fully appreciate a piece of art. Most of my paintings are like really huge. So like the biggest I paint is 1.5 meters long and 1 meter wide, which is why I couldn't bring it in here.
Yes, well, there was that, yes.
Yeah.
Mashallah, it's gone up on the Facebook, some of the amazing work that you've done, mashallah. Thank you, Mr. Producer, for doing that for us. So, the art therapy classes, can people just turn up at room 4 on the day? Is it better to contact you?
I think it's better to book it so I can prepare for it. I provide all the materials. So if I know how many people are coming, then I know what to bring.
Yes.
And prepare accordingly for it. I try to keep the groups small, so as to give everybody, more attention.
Yes, otherwise it's quite difficult.
Yeah.
It's like you need...
And the cafe is only that small as well. You don't want to get too crowded in there. So groups are about 6 to 8 max. And they range for a small fee as well, just to pay for all the art materials, and then a cup of coffee or tea is included.
And how do people book? I mean, do you have an Eventbrite set up or?
Oh no, I don't.
No.
It's very informal.
I think the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, WhatsApp group, or even just sending me a DM on Facebook or Instagram will secure your place.
Absolutely, okay.
For that day.
And who can show up? Is it just women? Does it have to be a Muslim woman?
No.
I mean, we have a wide listenership here.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a Muslim. You don't have to be Muslim to. I mean, some of the coasters was a project that wasn't really Islamic. I mean,
Zelik's got inshallah, I've got someone coming on next week about how art and maths and this kind of tile work and geometry all fused together. So keep tuned for that.
Yes.
But it's not Islamic in that it's not Arabic or Islamic script, I suppose
No,
that's
it
the
doesn't
thing.
have to be. It doesn't have to be. I think the good thing is that everyone has flexibility in what they'd like to paint and what they'd like to create. So I provide you with all the materials and a little bit of a few ideas on what you could do, and then you create what you'd like.
Now, we talked briefly about a very interesting project that City Retreat is hoping to do, which is to bring some of the amazing artists and calligraphers together for an exhibition. So that's going to be pretty exciting, inshallah.
Yes.
For yourself, anything else exciting coming up on your front that you would like to share?
Well, the thing is that, I mentioned about my paintings being really big. I've I've reproduced them to make prints of them.
Oh, that's
so
interesting.
now art is accessible in other different ways. I mean, if you feel that you don't have space for such a huge painting, you can still own some of my art by getting a print. These are great for gifting as well.
Yes, I was going to say, and your prints available as Eid cards?
Not Eid cards, no, but they're available as prints. At the moment, they're stocked in Islamic establishment on
Okay.
Asfordby Street. Each print comes with an inspiration card, which will say exactly what has inspired that print, what has inspired that painting. So this is a print. So like this is a print of my painting The Journey, and that's the inspiration card with it. So these prints come ready packaged and make as great gifts. You just have to pop them in a frame, or you can give it as a gift to somebody, or it's just a different way of owning art.
We are coming to the end of the show now, actually, Rashida Arts founder, Shazia. Thank you for taking the time to come in. As we mentioned before, if you wanted to go to one of the art therapy classes, you can DM through Rashida's page on Facebook, Rashida Arts. And also, if you want to know more about it, everything's available on her Facebook page as well. Thank you once again for joining us.
No, thank you, Sharmeen, for having me.
It was a wonderful pleasure.
It's a
mashallah,
pleasure.
to finally meet in person.
It's always nice to meet other twin moms.
Yeah, there's that as well. Okay. If you're a twin mom, join the conversation, inshallah, after the break. I will be talking about the Muslim women's perspective on travel, some of the challenges that we faced, talking about burkinis, the bans on burkinis, and other challenges around halal food and so forth. So just do stay tuned, and assalamu alaikum.